They look at you, and something inside of them shifts. They can smile at your face. They can shake your hand. But deep down, there is an uneasiness they cannot hide. You are not like them. You carry something that exposes what they try so desperately to bury. You are a mirror, and when they stand in front of you, their fear stares back at them. It's not because you've hurt them, not because you've judged them. It's because your presence reveals the truth they don't want to face. That is why they are unsettled. That is why they whisper, why they push back, why they react more strongly to you than to anyone else. You are the reflection of everything they hide, and that makes them afraid. The chosen ones carry an energy that cannot be faked. When you walk into a room, you don't need to announce yourself. The atmosphere changes. Some people feel inspired by you. Others feel threatened. Some are drawn closer. Others retreat. And the difference is not about what you do, but about what you are. You mirror back to people their own shadows, their own insecurities, their own fears. That is why you've noticed people sometimes project negativity onto you for no reason. It's not you. It's what they see in themselves when you're near. Think about it. Haven't you felt people withdraw when you spoke the truth? Haven't you noticed their laughter was more nervous when your presence disrupted the lies they were telling themselves? Haven't you seen the envy in their eyes when you succeeded? Not because they hated your growth, but because your growth reminded them of what they refused to pursue. You didn't create their fear. You revealed it. And that revelation makes you a mirror they cannot easily ignore. But here's the paradox. The same mirror that frightens them is also the mirror that awakens them. Many will resist, but some will be transformed. Your life, your strength, your endurance, all of it shows others that the excuses they cling to are illusions. You prove to them that it's possible to rise after falling, to heal after breaking, to move after being stuck. And while that proof unsettles those who still want to hide, it also inspires those who are ready to change. That's why your presence is so powerful. It separates those who will resist their reflection from those who will embrace it. Still, being a mirror is not easy. You've carried the weight of other people's projections. You've endured the sting of being misunderstood, the isolation of being different, the discomfort of being avoided. And yet, all of this was part of your design. The chosen ones are not called to blend in. They are called to reveal. You reveal truth simply by existing, and that is enough to disrupt falsehoods all around you. They fear you because your presence makes it harder for them to keep lying to themselves. So when they stare at you with confusion, when they criticize you without cause, when they push you away even though you've done nothing wrong, understand this. It's not about you. It's about what you reflect. You remind them of their potential, and that terrifies them. You remind them of the responsibility they've been avoiding. You remind them of the changes they know they should make but are too afraid to pursue. You are the living mirror of their fear, and that makes your role both heavy and holy. And here's the deeper truth. You don't get to choose whether or not you're a mirror. It is who you are. You carry light, and light always exposes shadows. You carry strength, and strength always exposes weakness. You carry authenticity, and authenticity always exposes hypocrisy. That is why you stand out. That is why you are chosen. And as long as you keep standing in truth, you will continue to mirror back what others try to hide. This is why your journey has felt so lonely at times. Not everyone can face what you reflect. Some will leave not because you failed them, but because you revealed too much. Some will distance themselves not because you did anything wrong, but because you reminded them of what they're afraid to confront. But don't mistake their absence for rejection. It's confirmation. It means your mirror is working. It means your light is shining. It means your presence is doing exactly what it was designed to do. And though it hurts, you must remember, your role is not to make others comfortable. It is to awaken them. Even if that awakening comes through fear. Even if that awakening comes through discomfort. You are not here to fit their expectations. You are here to show them the truth of themselves. And sometimes the truth scares people more than lies ever could. That is why they fear you. That is why they wonder about you. That is why they cannot ignore you, no matter how hard they try. Before we continue, I want you to pause for a moment and understand why this message has reached you now. You didn't click on this video by accident. You didn't arrive here by coincidence. There is a reason your eyes are seeing these words, and your heart is listening. This is a reminder prepared for you, and it carries power. That's why I need you to do something simple yet important. Watch this video until the very end, because the last part contains powerful messages meant only for those who are truly ready to see themselves clearly. And when you finish, take a moment to write your warmest wishes in the comments, and add the number 777 next to them. This is not just a gesture, it is a declaration. It is you sending your energy into the universe, activating the power of alignment and signaling your belief that what you wish for is on its way. And while you're here, subscribe to this channel, because this space exists for you, for the chosen ones, for those who are different, for those whose very existence reflects truth into the world. Now let's return to the reality of who you are and why others react the way they do when you walk into their lives. You've probably noticed it before. People respond to you with intensity. Sometimes they admire you deeply. Sometimes they distance themselves for no clear reason. And sometimes they even treat you with hostility, though you've done nothing to deserve it. Why? Because your presence unsettles them. You are the mirror of their fear. When they see you, they are forced to confront the very things they are trying so hard to ignore in themselves. You didn't choose this role, but it was given to you because of who you are and what you carry. Your courage shines in ways you don't always notice. When you decide to speak the truth, when you refuse to settle for mediocrity, when you rise after falling. These actions might feel natural to you, but to others, they are reminders of everything they are afraid to do. Your determination reminds them of their hesitation. Your honesty reminds them of their lies. Your endurance reminds them of the times they quit too soon. And so, instead of applauding, some respond with fear, envy, or even anger. You mirror back the gaps in their character, and that reflection is not always welcome. But don't misunderstand. This is not your fault. You are not responsible for their fear. The mirror does not create what it reflects. You are simply showing them what already exists within them. The fear, the insecurity, the regret, it was there long before you arrived. You just happen to carry the kind of presence that makes it impossible for them to keep pretending. That is the burden of the chosen ones. To reveal truths that others would rather leave in the dark. And yet, your reflection is not only about exposing fear, it is also about awakening potential. The same way some run from you, others are drawn to you. Because when they look into your mirror, they don't only see their fear, they also see who they could be. They see the courage they've buried, the strength they've denied, the dreams they've postponed. Your life becomes a living reminder that change is possible, that growth is within reach, that destiny is still calling. You are the trigger that sparks both resistance and awakening, depending on whether the person is ready to face themselves. This is why you must never dim your light to make others comfortable. If you shrink, the mirror shrinks with you, and the world loses the chance to see the truth it so desperately needs. Some will hate you for what you reflect. Some will love you for it. But both responses confirm that you are carrying what cannot be ignored. That's what it means to be chosen. It's not about being popular. It's not about being accepted. It's about being impactful. And impact is always disruptive. The reality is, chosen ones have always been misunderstood. People rarely see the whole picture. They only see what your presence stirs in them. And because not everyone is ready to face themselves, not everyone will celebrate you. But don't let that discourage you. Even their discomfort is proof of your purpose. If your presence reveals fear, then you are serving your role. If your presence awakens potential, then you are fulfilling your calling. Either way, you are standing exactly where you are meant to stand. So the next time someone questions you, avoids you, or projects their fear onto you, remember this: you are not the problem. You are the mirror. You didn't cause their fear. You revealed it. And in revealing it, you've already changed the atmosphere around you. That is your gift. That is your power. That is the mark of being chosen. They wonder why your presence feels heavy, why the air seems to shift when you walk into a space, why conversations suddenly become more cautious when you speak. It isn't because you're trying to dominate or intimidate. It's because you carry an energy that pulls hidden truths to the surface. You are not just another person. They sense that immediately. You are a mirror, and mirrors don't lie. They reflect what is already there, whether people want to face it or not. And this is what unsettles them. The chosen ones embody authenticity in a way that exposes what others lack. Your courage makes cowards aware of their fear. Your honesty makes liars feel the weight of their deception. Your determination makes quitters confront their regret. None of this requires you to point a finger or raise your voice. Your life alone becomes the reminder. That is why people react strongly to you, even when you've done nothing wrong. They are not fighting you. They are fighting what they see in themselves when they look at you. You've probably noticed how some people admire you deeply, while others avoid you for no reason. This split response is the natural effect of being a mirror. Those who are ready to face themselves are drawn to you because you show them what's possible. But those who are still running from their own truth can't stand to be near you. You remind them of the work they haven't done, the lies they still believe, the fears they refuse to overcome. And instead of admitting that, they turn their discomfort into criticism, jealousy, or distance. You are not the cause of their fear. You are the trigger that reveals it. And this can feel isolating. Being a mirror means you don't always get to enjoy the comfort of belonging. Sometimes people leave you behind, not because you failed them, but because you revealed too much. Sometimes they misunderstand your silence as judgment, when in reality your silence is simply strength. Sometimes they resent your victories, not because they don't want you to succeed, but because your success makes them face the excuses they've used to stay small. This is the paradox of the chosen ones. Your presence both inspires and unsettles, heals and hurts, awakens and disturbs. But understand this, the mirror is not meant to be comfortable. It is meant to be clear. Comfort keeps people asleep, but clarity wakes them up. When you walk into someone's life, you don't bring comfort, you bring clarity. And clarity is often uncomfortable at first. It forces people to confront truths they've been avoiding for years. That is why some resist you. That is why some talk about you. That is why some even try to bring you down. But their reaction is confirmation of your purpose. If you were ordinary, you wouldn't stir anything inside them. The fact that you do is proof that you are different. You might wonder at times why you carry this weight. Why can't you just blend in, live quietly, and avoid all the tension? The reason is simple. Chosen ones are not called to blend in. They are called to awaken. Your life is meant to disrupt illusions and expose lies, even if that makes others uncomfortable. You didn't choose this role. It was given to you. And though it comes with loneliness, rejection, and misunderstanding, it also comes with power, impact, and purpose. You are shaping lives simply by existing authentically. And here's the deeper truth. The fear you reflect in others is not just about them. It's also about the future they're avoiding. When they look at you, they don't just see who they are. They see who they could be if they stopped running. That vision is both terrifying and liberating. Terrifying because it requires change. Liberating because it proves change is possible. Some will fight that vision, others will embrace it. Either way, your role as a mirror is undeniable. So don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Don't silence your truth to protect their illusions. Don't hide your strength because it intimidates their weakness. Your very existence is meant to stir, to awaken, to reveal. That's why they fear you. That's why they wonder about you. That's why they cannot forget you once they've met you. Because you are not just another person passing through their lives. You are the mirror of their fear, and once they've seen their reflection, they can never unsee it. They wonder why they can't be around you for too long without feeling restless. Some will call you intimidating. Others will call you different. But the truth is simple. You carry a mirror they cannot escape. You don't need to confront them with words. Your very presence confronts them with themselves. That is the essence of being chosen. You are a walking reflection of truth, and truth always shakes the illusions people try so desperately to maintain. This is why some people create distance even when you've done nothing wrong. They can't explain it to themselves, but something about you makes them uneasy. When you walk into a room, the masks people wear begin to slip. Their confidence feels thinner, their lies less convincing, their pride more fragile. And though you never asked for this role, you cannot avoid it. Your light naturally exposes shadows. It's not because you seek to embarrass or overpower others. It's because you reveal what is already there. And what is already there often terrifies them. Think of how many times you've been misunderstood. How often people have accused you of being too much or too different. They couldn't name what it was, but they felt the weight of it. What they were really feeling was the discomfort of seeing themselves reflected in you. Your resilience highlights their fragility. Your growth exposes their stagnation. Your endurance forces them to face the fact that they gave up too soon. That kind of reflection is not easy to live with. So instead of thanking you for revealing the truth, many will reject you for carrying it. But rejection is not failure. It's confirmation. It confirms that you are carrying what cannot be ignored. It proves that your life is stirring the very places people would rather leave undisturbed. When doors close in your face, when friendships fade, when people criticize you harshly without cause, it's not because you are wrong. It's because your mirror is working. You've made it impossible for them to stay asleep in their illusions. And even if they run from you, they cannot run from what they saw when they were near you. This is why chosen ones often walk lonely roads. You may wonder why connections don't last, why circles grow smaller, why you feel like you're standing apart. But this is the price of carrying a mirror. Not everyone wants to see themselves clearly. Many prefer to live in denial. And when denial meets truth, there is always friction. Your loneliness is not a curse. It is a sign of your difference. It's a signal that you are carrying something heavy that not everyone can handle. And while that feels painful, it is also sacred, because it means your path is unique. Even in this loneliness, you are never truly alone. The very energy that chose you, that shaped you, that made you into this mirror, walks with you. Every battle you survived, every scar you carry, every tear that fell in silence, they were not wasted. They were forming the reflection you now hold. Your survival became the proof. Your endurance became the glass. Your growth became the shine. And now, anyone who looks at you cannot help but see themselves in comparison. That is not weakness. That is power. And notice this. Those who are truly ready for change will be drawn to you. They will see their fear in your mirror, yes, but they will also see hope. They will realize that if you could rise after everything you faced, maybe they can too. If you could stand strong in storms, maybe they don't have to collapse under their own. You become evidence that transformation is possible. And though many will resist, those who are ready will be awakened by you. That is the hidden gift of being a mirror. You don't only reveal fear, you also reveal possibility. But you must decide something. Will you keep carrying this mirror even when it costs you? Will you stand strong even when others misunderstand? Will you hold on to your authenticity even when people are threatened by it? These are the questions every chosen one must answer. Because if you shrink to make others comfortable, the mirror dims, and the world loses the reflection it desperately needs. If you choose to hide, the fear in others stays hidden too, and they never get the chance to face it. Your role is not to hide their fear, it's to reveal it, even if that makes them uncomfortable. So when you feel the weight of rejection, when you sense the sting of being misunderstood, remember this: your presence is not supposed to blend in. It's supposed to stand out. It's supposed to awaken, to stir, to reveal. And yes, it may frighten them, but it also frees them. That is your power. That is your calling. That is why you are chosen. They wonder why you unsettle them without saying a word. They wonder why their excuses sound weaker in your presence, why their false confidence suddenly shakes when you enter the room. And the truth is, you don't even try. You don't need to. Your very existence holds a frequency that forces people to confront themselves. That is why you are the mirror of their fear. It's not about arrogance. It's not about superiority. It's about reflection. You reflect back what they don't want to face, and that reflection makes them restless. Think of the patterns you've seen in your own life. How often have people projected their insecurities onto you? They accused you of being cold when you were simply guarded. They accused you of being arrogant when you were simply confident. They accused you of thinking you were better than them when all you were doing was refusing to settle for less. Their accusations were never about you. They were about themselves. You were the mirror, and when they saw their own fear, they blamed the glass instead of the face looking back at them. This is why chosen ones are often misunderstood. People don't analyze their own emotions deeply enough to recognize the source of their discomfort, so they turn it outward. They point to you as the problem because you are easier to attack than their own reflection. But every insult, every false judgment, every attempt to minimize you is just evidence that your mirror is working. They would not react so strongly if you did not awaken something inside of them. You have probably felt the loneliness of carrying this role. You've felt the sting of walking away from people who couldn't handle your presence. You've felt the ache of silence when you realized you couldn't explain why people withdrew. But now you know. It was never really about you. It was about the truths they were avoiding. And your mirror made avoidance impossible. That's why the distance happened. That's why the separation occurred. It wasn't rejection. It was reaction. Yet, in the midst of that, you also know there are people who are drawn to you. They see the same reflection others fear, but instead of running from it, they run toward it. They see their potential in your growth. They see their courage in your strength. They see their future in your endurance. For them, your mirror is not a threat. It is an invitation to rise, to heal, to change. And this is the balance you live in every day. Some will flee, some will follow, but both responses prove your purpose. The fear you reflect in others is not just a weakness, it's also their opportunity. Fear shows them where they need to grow, where they need to fight, where they need to rise. And whether they embrace that opportunity or reject it is not your responsibility. Your role is to reflect, not to decide. You carry the mirror, but they must choose whether to face it or turn away. And the fact that you keep carrying it, even when it costs you relationships, comfort, or acceptance, proves that you are truly chosen. Understand this clearly. Being the mirror is not punishment. It's calling. It means you were designed to carry light in a world that hides in darkness. It means you were built to expose lies that people tell themselves to feel safe. It means you are strong enough to withstand rejection, criticism, and misunderstanding because the mission is bigger than approval. Approval fades, but impact lasts forever. And your mirror leaves an impact no one can deny. Even the ones who resist you, even the ones who run from you, even the ones who slander you. They cannot erase what they saw when they stood in front of you. They can deny it with their mouths, but their souls cannot forget it. And that seed will grow in them, whether now or years from now. That is how powerful your presence is. You plant awakenings in people even when they resist. That is why you cannot quit. That is why you cannot give up. Because every step you take, every truth you live, every moment you endure is changing the atmosphere for everyone who encounters you. So let them wonder. Let them whisper. Let them question how you make them so uneasy. Because in the end, their discomfort is proof of your difference. And your difference is the very thing that will set you apart, elevate you, and carry you into your destiny. Never apologize for being the mirror. It is not an easy role, but it is a sacred one. And the world needs you exactly as you are. They look at you, and they see something they cannot name. You are not the loudest, not always the strongest in appearance, and yet you carry a weight that unsettles them. They whisper, they question, they sometimes even attack. But what they are really fighting is not you. It is the reflection you force them to see. You are the mirror of their fear, and that truth cannot be erased. Every encounter with you leaves an imprint, because in you they see both what they are and what they are afraid to become. This is why your life feels different. Ordinary people can pass through rooms unnoticed, blending into the background, leaving no trace. But you cannot hide. Even in silence, your presence speaks. Even in stillness, your energy shouts. People sense that you know yourself in ways they don't, that you've walked through battles they couldn't survive, that you carry resilience they can't fake. And when they see that, it shines a light on their own shadows. You don't expose them with your words. You expose them simply by being. That is the burden and the beauty of being chosen. You've endured the loneliness of this calling. You felt the sting of walking alone, misunderstood and misrepresented. You've watched people drift away, not because you failed them, but because you revealed too much. You've seen relationships crumble under the weight of your authenticity. And for a long time, you may have wondered if something was wrong with you. But the truth is, nothing was wrong. You were simply carrying the mirror. And carrying the mirror means not everyone can stay. But here's the deeper truth. Your mirror doesn't only reflect fear, it also reflects possibility. You show people what they could be if they let go of their excuses, if they faced their wounds, if they stopped running from their potential. To some, that reflection is terrifying. To others, it is liberating. You are a catalyst. You push people toward a decision they cannot avoid. Either shrink back into denial or step forward into transformation. That is why your presence is unforgettable. Once someone has seen themselves in your reflection, they cannot unsee it. And though you've carried this role quietly, you must understand the impact it has had. You've stirred hearts that were asleep. You've planted seeds of change in souls that were stuck. You've exposed lies people lived in for years. You've awakened courage in those who thought it was lost. Even if they never thank you, even if they resist you, even if they speak against you, the mirror remains. The truth they saw in you will follow them until they can no longer deny it. So where does this leave you? It leaves you with a choice. Will you keep carrying the mirror, even when it costs you comfort, even when it costs you relationships, even when it sets you apart? Or will you shrink, dim your light, and let the world remain in shadows? The chosen one cannot shrink. You were not built to hide. You were built to shine. Your strength was not given for applause. It was given for purpose. Your role is not to please others. It is to awaken them. Every scar you carry, every hardship you survived, every lonely night where you almost gave up, it was all preparing you for this. You were not being punished. You were being shaped. You were being trained to hold the mirror steady when others tried to shatter it. You were being equipped to stand strong when others collapsed. That's why you survived what others did not. That's why you keep rising no matter how many times life tries to knock you down. That's why they wonder about you. Because you are the living proof that fear cannot stop destiny.